Time for another board game review, and this time we have the game DC Spyfall. This was sent to me by Cryptozoic Entertainment and is designed by Alexander Ushan, with additional game modules designed by Matt Hyra and Deccan Wheeler. Now, I already reviewed Spyfall, and that's episode 32. You can watch that back in the list. Go find the episode if you want to find out how to play Spyfall. Long story short, Spyfall is essentially a party game where all of you get a location on a card, except one of you doesn't know where you are, and you are the spy, and you're trying to figure out where you are by asking questions, and you're trying to not get caught by revealing that you don't know where you are, and everyone else is trying to figure out who doesn't know where they are. It's really, really fun. I love the game, and so this is a DC version of the game. I'll just go into like what the differences are. Hi. Can I help you? First off, you're not the spy anymore. One of you is secretly the Joker and gets this Joker card. The rest of you will get a location card. For example, this one is the Bottle City of Candor. I have no idea what that is, but that is one of the possible locations in the game. So the game still works the same as always, just this time with the DC flavor. There are 20 locations you can see here. We got stuff like Arkham Asylum, you have the Hall of Justice, Daily Planet, a whole bunch of different locations in this one, but fewer than the original games. This one only has 20, and they're all DC themed. A lot of these I have no idea. I mean, I've watched like Justice League and stuff, but I have no idea what Mogo is. I guess it's a Green Lantern thing. I don't remember that. The Bottle City of Candor, I don't remember that either. Anyway, a lot of very fantastical locations in the game. So yeah, in that regard, the base game works pretty much exactly the same as the original game. Everyone gets a location, look at them, one of you's the Joker, ask questions, try to figure out who it is before the time runs out, and the Joker's trying to guess where you are. Let's go into the modules. First up is the Powered Up module, and you get an ability deck, and each player randomly gets shuffled an ability card face down, and it's their secret ability. So we got stuff like Ice Beam. It's a one-shot. Redirect a question being asked to someone else. You can only use it one time. It's called a one-shot. And then you discard this card once you do that. You've got Fear Toxin. One shot before you answer a question just asked of you. Choose another player to answer it first. You can even choose the asker. You still ask the next question, and then you discard this card. Some of them are ongoing, like Suspicious. This one is, you must accuse a player of being the Joker immediately after the fourth question is answered, and you don't reveal this card. So it's like a mandatory accusation. There's just a lot of them are just regular bystanders, which means you don't have an ability, you just play the game as normal. The Super Speed ability is ongoing, and your answers must consist of 3 words or less. So some of these abilities are like a one-time ability thing you can use. Some of them are ongoing and are kind of make you play a certain way. Those ones are interesting, like Bizarro. You must answer questions in a bizarre way. Alright, that's one way you can play. You can shuffle these out and you don't know who has an ability and who doesn't. So there's that. Now another module is the Harley Quinn Helper module. On every set of cards, this is the Mogo set, one of the cards has a little Harley Quinn symbol right in the top right here. And so if you have the Harley Quinn symbol, you're trying to help the Joker secretly expose the location. But the thing is, if you get caught as Harley Quinn, then you lose. So you don't want to be too obvious, because at the end of the game, if the Joker correctly guesses the location, the heroes can try to guess who Harley Quinn was. And if they successfully pick you as Harley Quinn, then you lose, and the heroes manage to steal the victory. Now, if you play with less than 8 players, there's a chance that there won't be a Harley Quinn. So you have no idea if there is a Harley Quinn or not. There probably is one, but there's no guarantee. So it's a very interesting idea, that idea of, oh, one of you secretly is trying to help the Joker. The Joker's Jest module comes with 8 extra Joker cards. Now, when you play with Joker's Jest module, you have to let everyone know at the beginning of your play session that this is a possibility. Because what this is basically everyone in that round has the Joker card. So it can add a very, like, extra layer of confusion to that specific round. But you never know when this round's going to come up because you pull these bags out blindly. Now, how you win the Joker's Jest is if you suspect that round you are playing the Joker's Jest module and everyone is the Joker, you can reveal your Joker card and try to claim that it's the Joker's Jest. instead of trying to guess the answer. If you reveal your Joker card and you say it's the Joker's Jest and it is that round, then you win, because everyone else is confused. You're like, I think it's Joker's Jest. But if it wasn't Joker's Jest, then obviously the heroes are going to win. So just another little extra round of confusing play you can add to the game. And then there's also the Multiverse Madness module, which the game comes with an extra copy of 16 of the locations. And what you do is you shuffle them and you put them into 2 bags, 8 cards each. And so in those sets, there are no Joker cards or Harley Quinn cards. Essentially, everyone is going to get a different location that round. So you have, it's completely confusing. Because one person thinks you're in Arkham Asylum, another person thinks you're in the Daily Planet. You don't know that. So that adds another layer of confusion, because some rounds, you all have a different location card. So you think everyone's lying, but then you might realize, wait a minute, I think this is a Multiverse Madness round, so we all have a different location. You can announce that at any time, and that you believe you are in a Multiverse Madness scenario, and then you can vote for that conclusion. And if the majority agrees, then you can reveal your cards, and if you're right, then you win. And whoever initiated the vote earns points. But the people who disagreed with you would earn no points. But if it isn't Multiverse Madness, then obviously the Joker is going to win. So that's another, similar to the Joker's Jest, an extra little module of a tricky bag of cards that you can add to spice up your game a bit.
And that's pretty much it. Ooh, I'm the Joker.
So let's talk about my thoughts on the game. First of all, the art style is great. It's super vibrant and funny. The artist did a really good job with kind of, having classic DC stuff, but making it really fun and cartoony. I like that Spyfall style of art incorporated with DC characters. As for the game, I feel like you really gotta like DC to pick this up. You only get 20 locations like Spyfall 2, and that was something I actually had a problem with in Spyfall 2. The first game has, I think 30-ish locations? I think 30 locations. And so it just feels like a little bit of a downgrade in that regard. I like having more locations to work with. That makes the game more fun for me. And also, because I'm not a DC expert, there were some locations I just had no attachment to. Like, looking at this list, I know Arkham Asylum, and I know, I even know stuff like Gorilla City, but Bottle City of Kandor or Mogo, it's just, I'm not really sure what they are aside from the obvious. Yes, it's a city in a bottle, but I don't know that much more than that. Most of the locations are stuff that's pretty well known, like Justice League Watchtower or Titan's Tower, Themyscira. But there's some stuff where there's like a couple oddballs in there where I'm like, I don't know this time. Now, the cards do offer descriptions, which I thought was a really nice touch about the thing. So for Mogo, yeah, it's a sentient planet and Green Lantern Corps headquarters, but that's all I know. Like, I don't know much about it beyond that. So with fewer locations and having them be so outlandish and obscure to the non-DC expert, it feels like this has slightly more limited appeal than the regular Spyfall. The abilities, I honestly think they're completely broken. They kind of just mess up what I think is a good game. Cards that make you act a certain way, like, oh, I have to answer stuff in a bizarre way, or do certain actions, they're just kind of obnoxious. Like, this is a game where all of your answers really matter, and so if you are forced to play it in a silly way or do things you don't want to do, yeah, it's fun for like maybe one round just to try it out, but it gets old really fast, and you're like, oh, you got the bizarre card probably, oh, okay. It's an interesting idea, but ultimately, it's only like a novelty idea at best. I don't think it's a very good fit for a game that really requires a lot of careful thinking. The Harley Quinn helper module, though, I think is much more successful. I really like the idea of another player helping the Joker. That's a really fun mechanic in some other hidden role games where there's a helper because it can be hard playing Spyfall as the spy or as the Joker in this case. So having a helper is fun, and it adds another like little level of suspicion. Everyone's like, oh, are you Harley Quinn? Or maybe there isn't even a Harley Quinn, but you start to suspect each other. That's a very fun idea. Yeah, it's really fun. I love this idea of trying to find the Joker and seeing if anyone is being too obvious and going, hey, what are you doing? Are you Harley Quinn? It's a very, very interesting idea. I know in Spyfall 2, they offer a similar variation if you, I think, combine the games or something like that. But you can play with two spies in Spyfall 2, and I think in Harley Quinn version of this is very successful. The other modules are decent. They're more like minor diversions than full modules. You know, it adds a little extra spice to the game. But honestly, I don't see myself playing the game enough to explore them a lot. Not to say the game it still isn't fun, because Spyfall at its core is still a fun game. But if I have to choose between DC Spyfall and Spyfall or Spyfall 2, I'm definitely going to pick Spyfall or Spyfall 2. So I would recommend DC Spyfall to... If you are really into DC, I think you'll get the most out of this. But if you're like me who knows enough about DC but isn't like a hardcore fan, I would suggest Spyfall and Spyfall 2 instead. That has much more appeal to me. But for DC fans, you might like it.